Yo, what's cracking? This is NRW. You know what it is. Nerds rule the world. We're back in the building. I got my boy Kuya P with me. What's going on, Kuya P?
What up?
I got my man, super cool. You're so cool. Rob Medina. What's happening, Rob?
All good, man. Thank you very much for that intro as well.
Yeah, man. And we are here to talk about the reboot, but not quite the reboot, the 1.5 reboot, the restart, the continuation, but not really the discontinuous DC universe Suicide Squad.
I love that.
This time with James Gunn as the director, bringing back Harley Quinn, but this time we're adding Idris Elba, Pete Davidson, and a whole host of others to have some fun with the Suicide Squad. This is the Suicide Squad. I don't know if y'all noticed that. The last one was Suicide Squad. This is the Suicide Squad, like the Ohio State. This is the Suicide Squad.
Hell yeah. I like that.
So yeah, we checked it out. We saw it, as you may have if you went in the theaters or if you saw it on HBO Max. The new Suicide Squad is out, and I gotta say, it was a fun time, and we're going to go through it right now. I think right now we'll have Kuya P take us through the characters a little bit and what we got going on. Or actually, I'm sorry, take us through the plot of Suicide Squad, and then we'll move into the characters. Rob, if you don't mind taking us through that. Kuya P, what was going on with the Suicide Squad?
All right, well, before I do that, I'm going to help y'all out by showing you the trailer right now. I'm going to cut it in the cut. Here we go. Boom, here's the trailer.
Robert Dubois. He's in prison for putting Superman in the ICU with a kryptonite bullet.
I'm not joining your Suicide Squad.
We'll see.
My court date is coming up. And Miss Waller said maybe you could help me out.
You're flexing in my door!
Everyone stand down.
Miss Waller, I don't...
Stand down! I wouldn't take such extreme measures if this mission went more important than you could possibly imagine. Are you in or out? Good. Let's meet your team.
It's okay, I'm not okay.
Each member is chosen for his or her own completely unique set of abilities.
I need to feel the raindrops on my head.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late. Had to go number 2.
Good to know.
Is this thing a dog?
A dog? What kind of dog do you think it is, mate?
I'm gonna go with Afghan Hound.
Oh my god, is it a werewolf?
Yo, they sent me next to a werewolf! Yo, let me out!
Hey, he's not a werewolf, okay? He's a weasel. He's harmless. I mean, he's not harmless. He's killed 27 children, but, you know.
Your mission is to destroy every trace of something known only as Project Starfish. Any questions?
Starfish is a slang term for a butthole. Think there's any connection?
No.
No. All right. Let's get it. This is suicide.
Well, that's kind of our thing.
I'm a superhero!
Where's my dad?
I want to get you out of here alive.
I'm going to get you out of here alive.
Ratatouille, what do you got?
Bird.
Now it. Stay off the comm.
All right, boom, there you go. The trailer for Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad. We're bringing back these characters again, man. It starts up in full effect. We have the lovable Michael Rooker, who we cried over in Guardians. James Gunn bringing back some of his friends from his past films, which you love about Gunn. Kind of like a Kevin Smith thing to do. Bring back your friends that you worked with before. I love it. So shout out to James Gunn by doing that. I love it. So we see Michael Rooker as Savant. He's in prison. Miss Waller, Andrea Waller, played by the amazing Viola Davis, is like, yo, I'm putting you on a mission. We got one more mission for you to do. You know what the deal is. And so he agrees and joins up with a great cast of characters. Nathan Fillion, my man from SNL. I'm escaping his name right now. Pete Davidson. So a bunch of throwaway characters, essentially, because it is the Suicide Squad, and it wouldn't be Suicide Squad without some people dying. And so yeah, thrown into the mix. There's a thing happening on Corto Maltese, this island, and so they get sent in there. Come to find out, Pete Davidson, spoiler, just one spoiler, sold them out, and then we see all of them brutally killed, and then find out that there's also another team led by Idris Elba playing Bloodsport.
You said what spoiler?
Well, that wasn't a spoiler. Everybody knows who Idris Elba is on the other side of the island. So basically, we just see one team go down for another team to come in, and so their mission is to find out what's happening on this island. There's a new military occupation occurring, and little do the rest of the world know there's also this classified project. And you've seen this in the trailer, so this isn't a spoiler. That Starro is essentially in that classified bunker, and they're trying to shut that down. And there you go. There's kind of the gist of the story. Top secret mission. It's what you know from a Suicide Squad story. They get sent on these missions that no one can survive, and some do, some don't. And in this, there's a lot of body count going on, and it was a lot of fun. So there's your gist in the story, and as you saw from the trailer as well. I'm gonna toss it over to Rob to break down some of the characters.
Oh, so where to start? Because there's a shit ton of characters in this movie, some of which you did not expect to see go so quickly, like I did. So, but as far as like the main cast is concerned, of course, everyone was not too surprised to hear that Margot Robbie is back as Harley Quinn. And in my opinion, she actually does a really good job playing Harley Quinn this time around. Not to say she wasn't good before, but you can really feel that she's getting herself really acquainted with the character. And I think this is her best performance as Harley Quinn by far, in my opinion. Then, of course, we mentioned Idris Elba playing a character that I'm not familiar with named Bloodsport, who I guess in kind of ways is similar to Deadshot, where he's really good at, killing or just shooting things on point. So a lot of people at one point were considering that we're thinking
smaller bullets.
With smaller bullets. So he was at one point rumored to be taking over as Deadshot. Obviously, that wasn't the case, which I think was a smart thing to do. And then, of course, we also have Polka Dot Man, which is a character that I had no idea even existed. In fact, I found out that James Gunn just was looking up the dumbest superhero existing, and when the first one that came up was Polka Dot Man, he's like, I got to put this guy in my movie, and he was actually one of the best things about the film. Yeah, and the actor that played him, I keep messing up his last name, but Peter. I'm not going to butcher. I'm sure we'll have someone put it up there, but. He actually does a really good job with that character, showing a lot more emotional depth, which I did not expect from this kind of character. And then, of course, we also get Amanda Waller, played by Ms. Viola Davis, who I think if there's perfect casting, she is definitely Amanda Waller. That woman really knows how to show a really bitchy side of that character that I think was very necessary to deliver with a film like this. And then we also get Joel Kidman back as Rick Flagg. And Rick Flagg in this movie, not to say that he was terrible in the first film, but he is way cooler in this one. I really like this character a lot more. A lot of the characters that we were acquainted with in the first film, including what's his name, Captain Boomerang. Yeah, he's in the movie for the time that he's in there. I actually like better this time around. Like all the actors who did come back, they were better this time around. And there's no doubt that James Gunn had written a movie that he had full control over, and you can see it on the screen, and he did whatever he wanted with these characters. And I'm so glad he had that opportunity, because we finally get to see a really good DC movie that provides some insight for some characters that none of us were, at least myself, weren't too familiar with here. And I got a kick out of seeing these variety of characters that we got for this movie. So those are my character synopsis in a nutshell. I don't know if you guys want to go into that.
No, real quick, the Polka Dot Man, because you mentioned him and you wanted, I looked up the name real quick for you, David Dastmalchian. So shout out to David Dastmalchian.
That sounds like a villain name, doesn't it?
I know, right?
It's a good name, bro. But that's a good synopsis of the characters. And you touched on something that I really enjoyed about the Suicide Squad. And it's just the handling of all the characters or whatever. Like even giving, Polka Dot Man like a background where he's like traumatized by his mom or whatever, you know what I mean, like just the little things. And I am totally on board, Rob. I totally agree. Like for some reason, like James Gunn and the way that he handled it, I felt connected to these characters. I didn't feel like it was stupid. Like the other Suicide Squad. It really is the Suicide Squad. Like, this is the definitive, like, cool. I really like what they did with Bloodsport, to the point where he has like a special skill set. Like, he has guns that just, you know what I'm saying? Like Inspector Gadget almost, where he's like putting things together. And like, I thought that was really cool. It's really cool to see him play out. It was really cool to have John Cena in there, and he didn't, there was no overacting. Like, everybody felt like they had their place, and it felt like it was it felt like it was a family. You know what I mean? It felt it felt like everybody kind of came together on the movie. Whereas the other Suicide Squad movie, it felt like, and I hate comparing the two, but you got to compare the two. It felt a little disjointed, and it was disjointed kind of in the script. It was disjointed in like the execution. There's a lot of things that didn't make sense. This made sense from beginning to end, and you didn't feel like you were left out. And some of the jokes were funny. The first thing, one of the first jokes that made me laugh was Pete Davidson sitting next to Weasel, and then the person's like, "Oh, is it a werewolf?" He's like, "Get me out of here! I don't fuck with werewolves."
Yeah.
Just little things like that made me just fall in love with this movie. I actually want to watch it again. I had to spend this like an entire day watching this because I have kids. I have a kid now, and I had to like stop it and start it, stop it and start it. But even with all the stops and starts, I'm like, man, that was actually pretty good. I'm gonna have to sit through it and watch like the whole thing from beginning to end because I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Same, man. As a longtime comics fan, I've read a lot of these characters in comic books that feature these characters. And bravo to James Gunn, man. Just like he did with Guardians of the Galaxy, we have a wide cast of characters. And he, as a fan himself, you can see it in the material. Like, you could see his love for the universe because there's so many other sidebar characters that people don't even really know that were in the Guardians films that he brought out. And he did the same thing with Suicide Squad. So when you can take an ensemble cast that have various, motivations and desires, and then have them gel like this, to your point, Glenn, you connect with these characters, whether you're laughing, you're crying, and you're having fun with them, man. Just brilliantly done. So I hope DC sees that and, maybe picks James Gunn brain to come back again, because they need a Kevin Feige style guy that knows the characters and has love for these characters to help them out with their DC projects. But I'll leave that point with DC right there. But so for this project, James Gunn killed it, man. Really liked what he did and what he had to work with. Every character had their moment. Every character had their arc. And I want to highlight John Cena. We didn't talk too much on him. Glenn, you brought him up a little bit, but as a wrestling fan, I know John Cena, the wrestler, and he's done a couple of acting films here and there, but they've been more so comedies. This is a comedy action film, but like, he killed it, man. Like, you have a guy who peace at no end, which makes him super scary as fuck as the Peacemaker. And that's the character from the comic book. And they couldn't have cast a better character. And I got to give him props, man, to go out there in the tidy whities, bro. Like, it couldn't have been me. Could have been me, but I don't have John Cena's body. So, like, if I had Cena's body, maybe I'll come out there like that. But I just got to give John Cena props because, he, a lot of times, wrestlers, they don't exactly make that transition like The Rock did. Rock made that transition, but Cena and Batista, shout out to Batista too. He's bringing it. But Cena,
it seems like more and more wrestlers are able to make that jump from like,
certain wrestlers. Certain wrestlers.
I mean, like the most recent crop have been much better. Yeah. I feel like. So
shout out to Cena though, but Cena, and then I love the back and forth with him and Idris. To me, I love Idris Elba. DJ Driz. That's one of my guys. So like him, Drizzy brought it. DJ Driz brought it. And then to have him go back and forth with Cena, I like that kind of. And actually, I hope if we get, I don't want to spoil anything, but if we get more, I'd love to see them interact again because they were funny. That scene, without spoiling, there was some scenes with them going back and forth with each other that was really funny and hilarious. It was that buddy cop love that just was brilliant. And man, hilarious. The detachable kid, TDK, Nathan Fillion, cool moment at the early part. That had me laughing my ass off.
Same here.
For those that aren't familiar with that character, it's like, my God, they just brought it, man. I talk too much. Let me toss it back to Rob, dude.
No, I was just going to talk about Cena's character of the Peacemaker because it was announced, I think, during or after the production of the Suicide Squad that they wanted to do a prequel for that character. So the show that's going to come out next year with HBO Max is going to be taking place prior to the events of this movie. So I'm sure we're going to get a little bit of backstory involved with how he ended up in prison. But I know James Gunn is heavily involved with that show. They just finished shooting it that show not too long ago.
And trust your boy already put his bid in with Warner Media. Thank you, Warner.
Yeah. So, we there's the thing about the movie that I got a kick out of is just that, I'm kind of a casual fan, comic book fan. I'll read some here and there, but I'm not as invested as such as yourself, KP. But with everyone else like myself who is not aware of a lot of these characters, guys like James Gunn, who is very knowledgeable and willing to take a chance and given the opportunity to do so, introduce them to something new. We've already seen Batman. We've already seen Superman. Let's try something different. And the Suicide Squad was a perfect opportunity to showcase additional characters that we may have not been introduced before because there's no interest for them. And a guy like James Gunn taking the opportunity to do that, to make us aware of Polka Dot Man, but bringing in the right people to portray these characters too. Like, the film was a lot of fun, but having the right people involved to portray that is, it's another added element that I thought was really spectacular with this movie. I mean, I don't know if I would go far as say this is one of my top DC movies of all time, but it definitely is up there as being one of the better ones, especially in the last 3-4 years we've been getting was DC movies. So this would easily tops that list in that regard for myself. Yeah,
DC's coming back. I mean, I feel like this is definitely. I would probably put it in my top DC movie, either this or Shazam. Shazam was probably my number one. I had a lot of fun with that.
Philly representing,
it's Philly representing. You know what I mean? I love the Shazam kids, but this definitely was there. And if you think about it, the other Suicide Squad was kind of very similar, where they had like throwaway characters, but you didn't care about their death. This one, it was like kind of interesting. Like you got a little time with each character, and it just kind of like whenever one died, you're like, oh, I didn't expect that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that was very cool. I got to say, Idris Elba, I feel like as the grizzled veteran who is so annoyed being in this situation, does a bang up job. I would love to see more of him in the DC universe. I'd love to see a lot of these characters in the DC universe. I mean, the very first thing that you got to look at is, Harley Quinn coming back and just giving a head nod that, oh, she's been on a mission before with Captain Flagg and Boomerang. You know what I mean? Like that was kind of cool to see that. Like, okay, we're not going to just throw away all of our continuity. We're going to have a little bit, but it's going to be loose. You know what I mean? And we're going to try to clean some things up. I really enjoyed this thing. I echo all your thoughts, Rob, on the character Kuyapi as well. And I am excited for a sequel, and I'm excited for what they're going to do in the upcoming DC movies.
Yes. And the Peacemaker series.
Yeah, actually, is the Peacemaker? Yeah. I thought it was after this because there was a little.
No, before this.
I thought it was going to be after.
No, they confirmed it's before this. It's definitely a prequel. They did confirm that. Yeah.
So the after is hint. Where we're going with another movie. So
yeah.
But let me also spotlight. We gave a lot of love to Driz and Harley and Cena. The Ratcatcher, the Ratcatcher number 2, which was the father Ratcatcher was Taika Waititi, which was cool to put him in there real quick. But just that young actress, I hadn't seen her before, but I thought she was endearing, And also shout out to Stallone as King Shark, man. We didn't even talk about King Shark.
Oh,
Stallone, bro. Yeah. That was King fun too. Amazing. And so that kind of like love connection, how she connected with King Shark, who never had a friend. That was very sentimental and very loving. I thought that was cute.
And it came from something that made sense. Like King Shark's like, I'm just going to eat you. And then it's like, no, you can't eat me. I'm your friend. And it's like, okay, I will eat you.
Yeah.
It was just so cool. And then to actually have like a character that can summon rats and make them like important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that,
Hell yeah.
It was great.
Yeah. I think like one thing about King Shark is that, that character could have been easily mishandled, but Gunn and other people involved making that character come to life add a lot more heart to it as well too, where we can really feel for the guy, especially when he's alone in the van while everyone's inside the club. I saw him cry. I was like, dude, man, that's fucked up. Because I was like, my son was, that's really messed up. My son was sitting next to me watching the movie. He's like, that is fucked up. I was like, I know, right? Leaving King Shark alone like that. So yeah.
But did you guys shed a tear when Milton when Milton died? That was a great joke. I love that.
Yeah, my son was like, why is this random guy? Because that's exactly what it felt. It was so so random, but it was part of the charm, you know?
Right.
And then when he died, and then Polka Dot Man was like, he was my only friend. I was like, oh my God, that's so hilarious.
But also that Idris Elba was like, why did he come with us? What was he going to do? Like, I just loved it. I was like, that's
hilarious.
Because exactly, we're like, why did he stay back at the van?
Yeah.
Like, why is he here? Oh
So
my
good.
goodness. And then oh man, just and there's a payoff to that joke. You know what I mean? It wasn't just a throwaway joke for the sake of the joke. There's a payoff at the end of the joke to show character connection at the end of the movie, man. So it's great. It shows why James Gunn, he gets paid the big bucks, is why they brought him in and brought him back, and why he's done so well with what he has. He makes you care about these characters. And another thing that is interesting, and we didn't touch on this, Starro the Conqueror, right? Starro the Conqueror, like you actually, there's a little bit of connection there. Yeah,
they did him 100% like the comic book. It was perfect.
It's like, how do you have a big kaiju and make it like, oh, okay, like who's going to care about this? And they did, and they made it like you care about it. But the thing is, Starro wasn't actually the villain. The villain was like the government. That was crazy. What did y'all think about that? Like, because there was some very heavy undertones of like, government is evil.
Good shit.
Yeah.
And that's all I can say because I still work for the government. Good shit. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Brilliant.
Yeah, same here.
Brilliant.
Yeah, man. Well, all around, I guess we just go around. What are your final thoughts on the Suicide Squad, and what would you rank it? What are we giving it? Thumbs up. I'll go first. Loved it. Giving it thumbs up. Got to see another one. As a matter of fact, after we finish this review, I'll probably go watch it again.
I'm in the same boat as you. I think I'm going to watch it again after this here.
If my wife will, I'm sorry.
No, go on. You were saying, go on.
If my wife will let me watch it, because I haven't spent time with them yet today because I've been so busy editing. I don't know if they'll want to watch it because they're like, oh, that's going to be blood and guts. No, it isn't. We'll see. Well, there is some blood and guts. So we'll see. I would like to watch it, but I may not be able to chance, but I can't wait to watch it again. 2 thumbs up. Absolutely enjoyed it. Had a great time, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, that's it. Our Suicide Squad here. We don't have a Suicide Squad. All our members count. We're very important here. So tell them where they can find you, Rob Medina. Tell them where they can find you, bro.
Well, you can follow me on my social media accounts on Instagram, Rob_Medina0585, Twitter, Rob Medina0585, and on Facebook, simply just Rob Medina. I was going to say Rob the movie guy. That was an old one. It's a new one now under Rob Medina.
Still our movie guy though, bro.
There's still the movie guy.
And then follow my show too on social media. You're So Cool with Rob Medina on Instagram, and on Twitter, You're So Cool WRM. And check out my show while you're at it too.
Nice. Cool. Y'all P, what you got?
What up? You can follow me at Strange Since 1977. That is Twitter, I think, or IG. I don't know. The other one's at Simple Furries. One of those Twitters, one of those IG. I don't know. I'm old. On TikTok, the Legend Kuya P. Over at the Nerds of Color on Nerds of Color Everything, as well as Show Pal Show. That's my Philippine X show. And of course, at the NRW and at New Release Wednesday, where I'll be with these guys, where nerds rule the world.
Nice. And I am Glenn Lawrence, Level Up Comedy, Blur Dad Extraordinaire. Listen, if you liked what you heard here, go ahead, give us a like, give us a share, give us a subscribe. Please comment. Tell us if you agree with us. Tell us if you disagree. And I don't know what other thing I was going to say, but those are the things. Just tell us if you agree. Tell us if you disagree.
I thought there was a punchline coming up.
There was a punchline coming up, but I'm rusty. I'm rusty as hell. And that one died like a member of the Suicide Squad.
Oh!
There we go. All right, y'all.
Good comeback.
Yeah,
good comeback.
4 nerds will rule the world. I'm your boy Glenn Lawrence. Thanks for joining us. And like I said, like, share, subscribe, and go check out Suicide Squad. It's just that good. Peace.
Deuces.
No,